So I've put a couple coats of polyurethane on this handle, and what I'm going to do now is use a Beal polishing system. It has a Tripoli wheel, and then a white diamond wheel, and then a wax wheel to actually finish this. Most people use this on bare wood. I like to do it on the surface of poly just because I don't want the Tripoli to actually tint the color of the maple. If it was all one color wood, I'd do this in the first place. So here we go. All right, and there we go. We got a nice smooth polish across the handle. Now we're ready for a final edge on this blade, and we'll be set. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put a final edge on this knife. Now normally this would not be that big of a deal. If it was any other shape, if it was strictly concave or a straight blade, I would use all of my stones. First a 400, then 1,000, and then usually an 18 to 16,000, and then a high water stone, and then a cotton buffing wheel. Because of this convex shape though, up here, the concave in here, I can't put that across the stones as easily. So what I'm going to use is this razor sharp system. It's put out by Woodcraft. It's actually a really great sharpening system, and it consists of 2 cardboard wheels. One that has grit on it, a very fine grit for putting an edge on something, and then the other one that I'm going to use here is actually a waxing rouge that's on a slotted cardboard wheel. The slots keep the cardboard cool, but I'll tell you a quick story, not a funny story. Actually, it's a warning. So here's the warning. When I first started to learn to use this thing, I was so used to a tool rest for turning gouges or sharpening gouges, or for putting a hollow grind on a plane iron or anything else like that. And so the first time I was using this, I actually used a 1/4-inch chisel and held it just like this. You can see what's coming, but I didn't. So this, I'm holding it up at this angle, and the wheel is spinning around, and because it's slotted, right, and because it's cardboard, bad things happened right there. So this actually grabbed my 1/4-inch chisel and shot it out of my hand across the room, and it bent it and put a crack in the chisel because it hit the ground or hit something else, I don't know what. I was wearing a face mask, but that doesn't protect you from some areas like the throat. So that kind of scared the bejesus out of me. That's when you just like walk out of the room and take a break. So, but I'll show you here. I actually pulled it out. I had this set. This is one of the first sets of chisels I ever bought, which are a Swiss file chisel. Absolutely love these things. All of mine are about this length, some slightly shorter from sharpening, but you can see the 1/4-inch from the set, a little shorter. So that's how much actually broke off. That's how much I lost from being careless. So don't do that at home. Let's put an edge on this blade. Okay, so we have the finished knife. I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, it got a maker's mark, handmade brass peen rivet, made from an old farrier's file, which you guys can check back in the first video and see the beginning of. It's got a king wood and maple crotch and bloodwood handle. But how do you test if it's sharp? Now, some people use the paper test. So they'll take a piece of paper and cut it. So this guy cuts just fine. I use all my tools and I shave, so I'll show a little piece of that. So most oftentimes I'm missing a chunk of my arm hair and students are curious what's going on. But since I'm right-handed, I test all my tools on my left arm primarily, and when I run out of space, I go to the left leg because I don't trust my left hand on my right arm. Otherwise, hospital. So I'll show you how this shaves. So here's our blade, and here's my arm. Kids, don't try this at home. I'd say it's a nice little blade. Shaves off everything. So thanks so much for following along and watching as I transition this Farrier's knife into a what I think is a pretty slick knife. I think this knife, instead of being a few days past its personal best, is now probably the best it's ever looked. So hope you guys enjoyed the videos, and if you want to see anything else or see any other processes or something more, go ahead and leave a comment below, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks so much. Have a good day.